Hi YouTubers, just wanted to run through the second part of my solar setup, which is my power box behind me here. So I would appreciate any subscribers. It is a new channel, so yeah, press subscribe, either that side or that side. So the last I spoke, I said the cables come down from the roof. Well, this is where they come in, down here. I'm going to quickly go through an overview of the box and how everything's connected. From there, it comes into this power box. Now basically what a power box is, it just connects everything together, like your solar charge controller, voltmeters, your up meters, and all those type of things. So basically it comes into this box, goes into this focus charge controller. I had a cheap Chinese, I don't even think it was PWM, but anyway, this cheap Chinese charge controller. It worked, but you know, max 10 amps, and that's kind of restricting. At the end I'll zoom in so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But basically there's the focus, works quite well. This is a 20 amp. My system's currently a 12 volt system, so I am at about 15 amps, so I'm going to need to go 24 volts quite soon, because remember with when you double your volts, your amps decrease respectively as well, so that'll help. From here it goes onto this voltmeter, which is quite nice. It tells me what the state of charge is in the top part here, and if it's overcharging, which it shouldn't, but if it's overcharging it'll start sounding an alarm and flashing, which is quite useful. That goes into this meter. This is actually an RC meter. It's a watt meter. It tells you volts, amps, watt hours, and amp hours, and so forth. So yeah, it's quite useful information. This is from the actual solar side, which then comes onto a battery disconnect. So it disconnects the solar from the batteries, and a solar array disconnect, which is self-explanatory, just cuts off the panels. From there it comes out of the box and into two clips, one to the negative, one to the positive. But these clips, okay, these batteries are placed in parallel. I know there's a bit too many parallel strings here. They recommend as little as 3 parallel strings. You know, you shouldn't have anything more than that. But my system's going to change and it works for me, so that's fine. But coming back to those clips, the negative clip goes to the last terminal in the string of batteries, and the positive to the first positive terminal of the battery. The reason for that is the problem with charging things in parallel, it doesn't get an even charge. So this kind of helps, and what I read, it kind of helps the balancing off of the charging, so each battery gets a more or less proper charge. Before I had it on just on the first battery, and the problem with that was, you know, this one would get full and it might only slowly trickle to this one, and the rest down here just don't hardly get any, which is, well, useless, and it's going to destroy the batteries. So from there you'll see I've got, I think it's a 90 or 100 amp hour cable between the batteries, and then you'll see, I don't know if you can see down here is a DC disconnect from the actual batteries itself, a big 60 amp switch. Then from the batteries, also connected, first battery positive, last battery negative, is my inverter. The actual inverter itself is not the most expensive, but you know, for a small system it does the job. It's a 650 watt. This isn't a grid tied. Here in South Africa, grid tie is illegal. We're hoping that changes sometime. But who knows when the government's got shares in the utility company. But yeah, that runs my loads, like the lights, as you can see, my fridge, alarm clock, 2 laptop computers, a desktop computer, and if I haven't said it, a fish tank. So yeah, that is my system. One last thing. This little device here shows me how much power I'm using. It's called an Effigy Meter. I don't know if you can see it. It's called an Effigy Meter. basically it gives you the average watts per month, per week, or the actual current watts that are actually being used. So currently now I'm only using 24 watts. See. So like if I go back, if I change this to, for example, unit, it shows me I'm only using 3 cents in our currency per hour, or I am using 24 kilograms of CO2, basically 24 grams of CO2 at the moment for all those green fingers out there. Now, if you can see, I'll show you history. Let's take last month, for example. Last month, okay, I wasn't here a lot of the time, but last month I only used 7 kilowatts, sorry about that. 7 kilowatts. Yeah, it also comes with a program that you put on your PC and then you download your power information. That's quite useful, so you can see what your consumption is. Now this little meter, they aren't the cheapest. Maybe in your country they're not too bad on price, but this little meter basically supposed to go onto your normal mains or AC power to show you how much power you're using there. I've just plugged it onto my inverter, and that shows me, well, how much power I've got actually from solar, or used that specific evening. And yeah, it helps me keep my usage under control. As I grow my system, obviously I can become a little bit more lax, but obviously you'll still need to keep on looking at the meter. So yeah, that's my setup. Thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, I'll get a better camera in the coming weeks, and yeah, I'll post a lot more videos, so please subscribe. Thanks.